Hey there, everyone. It is I, DZ Maven. Time for a Gunpla review. Unscripted. For anyone joining me for the kind of first time here, just to kind of explain real quick what the whole unscripted review thing is. Basically, that's just me going in and filming this review, talking about it, and that's kind of it, really. I'll show off the kit, and I'm not really going in with super heavy editing or anything like that. I'm just kind of going live in a way, and just kind of talking about it, even though this is not live because it's going to be a video, and, well, anyway, just so you know. It's supposed to be a very casual way of me reviewing kits here. Anyway, the kit today is going to be the high-grade After Colony OZ06MS Leo. Everybody's favorite little aluminum tinfoil grunt suit from everybody's favorite Gundam anime, Gundam Wing. And this is the box art. Anyway, let me get to photos here, because what I do is I do photos here. Let's get to that here. Alright, let me switch over and we will browse through my photo gallery here. Alright. Alright, so box art. Pretty nice box art for it. This kit came out in May of 2018 for the very, very economical price of 1,000 yen. That is 1 followed by 3 zeros. Which roughly translates to actually less than $10 in the US now, I think. So, extremely cheap kit. And there's one thing I like about Gunpla. I do like Gunpla when it is cheap. Because Gunpla has been trying to trend towards more expensive lately, and I like seeing more cheaper Gunpla kits here. Anyway, manual here. I'm going to tell you something really controversial here. You can throw the manual out. You don't need it. Because this is a Gunpla Evolution kit, a GEP kit. Basically, the whole idea behind the Gunpla Evolution project is Bandai is going to try out some experimental new plastic model technologies into their kits here, and the Leo was one of those kits. So what was the gimmick for the Leo here? Well, it kind of tells you right here. Basically, it has to do with the way the parts are arranged on the runner. So Bandai basically tried to make this kit as foolproof as possible to build straight out of the box. A toddler could build this kit, supposedly. The way they arrange the parts on the runners is that they kind of match up with the parts of the actual kit here. As you can see, between the A and the B runner here, they kind of match up a little bit here, but you can see, especially on the A runner, the parts have been grouped together to correspond to the actual sections of the actual kit itself here. Like, they have the head parts are all right here, all the torso parts are in one section, all the hip parts in one section, the legs are on one section, and the right and left arms are on their own sections here, so you can't really get lost or confused by the runner by having a bunch of parts there, even though there's not a whole lot of parts on the Leo, so it's kind of hard to get lost anyway, but yeah, here's the manual. Like I said, you can kind of throw the manual away on this kit. I went ahead and took the challenge of building this kit without even looking at the manual for it, and I was able to put it together pretty competently, well, pretty quickly without even looking at the manual one bit. So here's the manual. If for some reason you want to look at it, I would encourage you to try and challenge yourself if you get one of these kits. Try to build it without looking at the manual and see how easy it is for you. Because remember, Bandai tried and made this thing specifically so you wouldn't really have to look at the manual all that much for it, if at all. So, I mean, they kind of made it that way to make it easy for people, but also because this is kind of a mass production suit and they kind of expect people to make a lot of these, they kind of set the runner up so you can kind of speed build this thing very quickly here. And I would say they were successful in that. Some information about the Leo itself, if you weren't really aware of what the Leo is and you've never seen Gundam Wing and how they can basically pop from a stray bullet, but yeah. Anyway, here's that A runner. As was shown in the manual, they have things kind of grouped together. Head parts up here, torso here, left and right arms on the side here, hip section, and both legs kind of all grouped together here very nicely here. And here are some of the, these are the gray parts. They're kind of a dark gray. It's not really a gray, it's kind of a, it's like an olive gray. I don't know if that's really a color, but it's like a mix between olive green and gray. That's kind of the best way I can describe it. It's kind of a strange gray color here. But anyway, they're kind of grouped together here. You have the parts for the arms right here, and parts for the legs right here, and the hips and torso right here. So again, everything's grouped together, so it's supposed to be stupid easy to put together. So Sea Runner. You have some parts for the weapons here, and some more actual gray parts here. One little clear yellow piece for the main head sensor, and a couple of red pieces for the head, and that's it. That's your runners. You got 3 runners. Well, actually, you have these 2. I'm sorry. You have beam sabers, standard beam sabers, and one little thing of polycap. So it's like 5 runners, but really you probably only need 3 of those to actually build the main kit itself. You don't get any foil stickers with this kit, but if you do have some scrap foil sticker laying around, you might want to take a piece of that and stick it in behind the eye sensor. I did that on my kit, and that looked a hell of a lot better than just having the olive green plastic behind the yellow piece. So that's just one little suggestion of mine you might want to consider doing. Really easy to do if you have any scrap foil sticker laying around, so yeah. Anyway, here's the finished kit. It is a Leo. The gruntiest of grunts, as I like to call it. Super cheap, mass produced. Just what you want out of a grunt suit. And a grunt Gunpla kit too. So it fits the bill to a T. And it looks great too, straight out of the box. You really don't have to do anything to this. Like, go ahead and panel line it. There's a few little spots where you can kind of paint in some of that darker gray color to try and make it a little bit more accurate, but again, you don't really have to because you don't really notice it too much, but I did that on my kit here. Articulation is pretty decent for how cheap this kit is, so again, Bandai didn't really skimp out here by not having articulation on it, so you can pose it pretty well. So here's just some examples. Again, you get a full, almost like a full 180 degree bend out at knee there. It can crouch. It can do the crouch pose, and it passes it with flying colors. And you can look at the butt too if you want. Little peg hole in the bottom, standard peg hole for the action base. The gun, you get your little standard machine gun for it. The only thing I might suggest painting is the end cap here. Comes in gray plastic. If you want to look a little better, you might want to find some dark blue, gray gunmetal color and just kind of paint this end piece in, just to kind of match the dark plastic here. It'll look a little bit better. The ammo canister, I guess you want to call it that, can actually be detached and can carry it in hand for whatever reason. And there it is posing with the gun. Again, it's the most basic of machine guns. Even a Zaku machine gun probably looks better than this thing, but it's supposed to be cheap, and it looks cheap, and it still looks good, so I don't really mind. A little close-up of the gun here, again. Here's posed with the gun and the shield. The shoulder shield that attaches onto the shoulder. You can switch it out with the shoulder pad depending on what kind of configuration you want. Here's the shoulder shield flip all the way up. The pair of beam sabers are stored inside the shield. You can take those out and stick the beam sabers on them and have the Leo slice away at whatever enemy it will fail to destroy. Notice with the shield, I think there's a handheld right there, kind of. You can sort of get it into the hand, but it's kind of really tricky to do. And here it is with the beam saber up on the action base here. A few little poses here. Double beam sabers. And here's the accessories that come with the kit. Not much. Shield, gun, beam sabers. As basic as you can get. And here's a few size comparisons to a couple of other Gundam wing kits here. Next to the wing for Ka, it's about the same height as the wing Gundam. And next to the Tallgeese, which the Leo is based off of, the Tallgeese is obviously taller. So, but they do look good next to each other. So, if you have the Tallgeese in the wing, it looks perfectly at home right next to them, even though it's not quite as detailed as a real grade kit, for obvious reasons. So, anyway. Here next to the wing Gundam again. Alright, let's go back to what I call the live view. So, alright, so here's the Leo here. Something I did want to point out that I didn't really have a photo of is that the clear yellow in here is UV sensitive, so if you do shine a UV light in that, it will light up right away. So that's just something to point out there. But yeah, cheap kit, good articulation. Well, of course you can wrap the arm out if you pull it the wrong way. The shoulder joint comes out a little bit like so, to wrap around like that, wrap all the way around. 90-degree bend in the elbow right there, so decent. Shoulder shield flip up. Beam sabers, come out. Not the easiest thing to pull up, you can pull them out. And beam saber right in the hand. It's not a super tight grip in the hand, so make sure you don't drop the beam saber. It will fall out if you flip the kit upside down, but other than that, it just kind of stays in there. So there's no alternative hands. You only get the one set of hands for this. It's just this hand. That's all you get. And that's all you really need. It makes it really easy to switch the equipment out, because like I said, the gun just kind of slides in there, like so. In the hips here, there is a slight variation in the hips right there for posing. It can go up kind of like so. That. Arm out of the way. Now this little front skirt, this will move up like that, but that doesn't really help you because it's just so tiny anyway, and the leg only kind of goes up to here before it starts hitting the this side piece right here. So and kind of try and get the splits here a little bit, like so. And again, as I showed off, that nice little knee bend right there, and then the ankles right there, kind of showing off side to side here. So for cheap as this thing is, its articulation is really impressive for actually how cheap this is. So I was kind of comparing this to older high grade kits and around the same price point from like over 10 years ago, and it's like, yeah, this is like way better than even high grade kits from like 10 years ago. It just goes to show how far things have improved since then, and I can't really straighten this skirt piece out because it's so tiny. There we go. It's in there. The kit's pretty stable. It's not gonna fall apart on you or anything. So again, good build quality. Now there are some P-Bandai versions of this kit that had the space pack, which attaches into the back right here, and there is the light pack, which also attaches to a mechanism here, and I think it also adds some extra equipment that attaches to a hard point right here, and kind of have to pull those out carefully. Don't lose these. They're very tiny. Try and get that back in there. Get in there. Yeah. And yeah, that's kind of about it. I'm probably going to show you how to switch the shoulder armor out. Real simple. It just kind of comes right off. And you can pop this piece on, and in case you don't want that shoulder shield thing, you can just switch it out with that, and there you go. The only thing is that I kind of wish it did come with some extra weapons. It would have been nice to have something else other than the sneaky little machine gun, but the other weapons are available in the P-Bandai sets. I know there's a beam rifle, and I think you can get the Dober gun as well for this, so you want to have a few more things to go with your Leo, you might want to consider looking at one of those P Bandai versions of this, but other than that, you know, it's cheap, it's good, and honestly, this is it's honestly one of the best high grades I've built, like, in the past several years, and it's kind of a weird thing here. It's like, by the way, there's not really any head articulation on this thing because of the way it's designed, so it's just, yeah. I mean, there is a joint in there, but it doesn't move. You can't really do anything with it, but yeah, this is an excellent little cheap kit. If you haven't built one, like, what are you waiting for? Just, it's like less than $10, or at least it should be, if you can find some place that's selling one for less than $10, because this thing was designed to be cheap. So cheap, but not bad. It's actually good. It is a good cheap kit, and that's what I like in a kit. So anyway, I hope you found that review enlightening. That's about all I really had to say about the Leo. Like I said, it's a cheap kit. There's not really much to say about it. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that review. It's a thumbs up kit from me. So I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Don't blow me up. That's what happens with Leos. They just blow up.